All right, welcome back for another arena breakout video. So today I'm just going to be going over secure ops. I know we're about to hit a new season, so this has probably been covered and discussed a million times over, but I've had a couple of people ask me recently if the mode is worth it, what are the benefits, especially if you're newer to the game, like you're just getting into Arena Breakout and you're not really quite sure, how all of these different modes work and, the restrictions and all that. So the too long didn't watch version of this video is if you're curious about secure ops, what I think you can, get out of the mode, what are the benefits, especially if you are a newer player to Arena Breakout, or if you're returning and you've taken some time off and you haven't gotten a chance to really play it yet. This video is probably going to be more so for those players. If you've been playing secure ops and you've, pretty much read and seen and experienced everything, then you're probably not going to see a whole lot of new information coming out of this video. Other than the fact that I believe they did say that Secure Ops is returning in the next season, and I believe they said it's a permanent mode now, so it's not a limited mode. It's going to be there all the time going forward, which I think is great. So, with that being said, let's get right into it here. So, basically, Secure Ops, you go in, you have your, tactical ops and normal lockdown, forbidden, or your shooting range. If you go to the limited time event right now, go to Secure Ops. You can play either Armory or TV Station. So I've been playing a lot of TV Station over the last couple of days because I have not played a whole lot of TV Station in the regular modes. So this is kind of my way of learning the map with like a low risk. So if you notice, it will tell you that you pay 20,000 to get in, just like if you were playing, like Lockdown. And your value of your gear has to be at or under 400,000 Koen. So select it, whichever one. If you're meeting the requirements and all that stuff, you still have these options over here, just like you do in the regular modes. And then once you're ready to rock and roll, you hit start, load in, and you're playing TV Station Secure Ops, just like if you were on, Lockdown or Forbidden, but with certain restrictions. So I'm going to switch back over to my storage here to show you something. So basically with Secure Ops, the loot that you get out of the raid is going to be at a reduced value, and apparently it's not like a set value. It probably depends on the level of item, but if you're extracting, let's say you find a gold item that's normally worth like 80,000, taking out of Secure Ops you might only get 40 or 30,000 or whatever that looks like. So you're not getting as much money out of it, but you are also not losing any of your gear. So I would highly suggest this mode if you've not really played a whole lot of Armory or TV Station and you're trying to learn the map, because all of the gear that you have equipped, so your any gear, your helmet, your body armor, your weapon, backpack, your chest rig, anything that's obviously in your secure case, even if you die, you're gonna keep all of that stuff. Oh, and so even if your magazines are outside of the secure container, you get your magazines back too. Basically how it works is the only thing that you actually lose when you die in Secure Ops are your consumables. So your meds, your ammo, your grenades, so basically anything that's not equipment related, it's going to be gone, unless of course it's in your secure case, just like the other modes. So again, if you're trying to learn Armory or TV Station, this is a really good mode to do that with a very low risk. The most you're going to lose are your, the ammo that you're bringing in and meds and things like that. So that's a huge benefit. The other benefit of it too is you don't have to worry about so much of the stuff that you run into in Lockdown and Forbidden, where it's, you know, you're getting, at least I haven't seen a whole lot of it, I could be wrong, but at least on TV Station, I'm running into less SVTU, you know, red ammo and stuff like that, because if you think about it, the loot value coming out is going to be less, so you're kind of wasting money if you're doing crazy stuff like that, because you're not going to get the same value as you would in the regular mode. So you actually generally tend to run into some better engagements and stuff, which is kind of nice. And obviously another main benefit of this mode is if you just want to try to get some extra money built up, you know, whether or not you've been running into some hard times, some tough luck, you know, the raids haven't been the greatest, your, you know, stash is depleting, you don't have a lot of stored up money and stuff like that. This is a good way that if you run this map for probably, or not the map, but the mode, for a couple hours, there's a good chance if you're playing smart, or if you're playing slow, that even going around and looting stuff after the map's pretty much been cleared, you're going to make some money back, you know? So, again, this is why this is kind of for people who are either getting back into the game that are newer, or they've taken a break for a while and they haven't actually gotten a chance to experience this mode, and they're trying to, you know, see what it's all about. So I wouldn't go into this mode expecting to come out making, you know, millions. I think one of the best raids that I've had in Secure Ops so far was close to $1 million, but that's not the norm from what I usually get out with. Generally, most of the raids, it's somewhere between 250 to, you know, 500 or so thousand Koen. So it's not like going into the other modes and, you know, you pop a red or you find a couple golds and it's like, oh, well, there you made, you know, 1 million or 2 million or whatever off of that raid because you got lucky with a red and some other, you know, gold items. So don't expect the raids to be like insanely, you know, high loot values every single time. That's why I said you want to play it for probably a couple hours. In that couple hours, you'll probably make, I'd say, 2 to 3 million if you're consistently extracting. Obviously, if you're dying, because I like to PvP and like push fights and stuff. So, you know, if I play 10 raids, I might extract on like 4 of them because I'm trying to find the fights and all that stuff. But if you're there just to make money, if you're playing slow and smart and you're getting the map down, then you should actually make, you know, a little bit of money off of it, which is nice, especially if you're trying to build up that money to go and get some better kits or whatever that looks like for the regular modes. So that's really the majority of Secure Ops. The last part that I kind of want to go through is how you can kind of game the system a little bit as far as the requirements. So if you noticed, I'm wearing the Tier 5 helmet and mask, Tier 5 armor. I'm running a super cheap chest rig, military backpack, and then I have the Vector, which with everything that's on it, it's only around 30,000. So what you can do is just like how you can get some of the better armor for cheaper if you go in and you find it, you know, if you get it off the market as either like new or worn, you can take the value down and be able to bring some better stuff into the raid. And you'll notice sometimes that when you're running Secure Ops, you'll see people running like moto helms and stuff like that, but it's because if you look at the durability, most of them are like in like the mid 20s on the durability side, so they're very damaged tier 6 helms. Now you can't find that on the market, so you'd have to have taken that into, you know, some raids, taken damage, got that stuff out, or have looted it off of somebody that you killed. But that's how you can take that into those raids. And the reason why that works is because generally what people do is they'll try to get around the system to bring in the higher tier armor, and that means they're running a weapon that's not very decked out, and then the ammo that they're running usually is like, you know, if it's the SMGs, they're usually dumb because they're going like leg meta, which is what I've been doing the last day or two, which works out as long as you're not getting into too many like mid to, you know, long range fights. So that's why TV Station is probably a better map. I don't know if I'd really recommend it on Armory unless you're consistently getting into Armory and fighting in there. If you're looting around outside the map, then you're going to be at a huge disadvantage. But TV Station, the SMGs with dum-dum rounds work really well, and then if it's like 5.56, usually it's A1, you know. I've seen people even coming in with like PS ammo, stuff like this. I mean, you're not really getting in, like I said, to the crazy ammo, because you're not getting that same loot value out, so you're going to spend more money than what you're going to probably be able to extract with, so it would be, you know, kind of defeating the purpose. So that allows the damaged gear to perform better because they're using not as high of a tier ammo, so even though it's highly damaged, you can still tank some rounds before that armor's burnt. The other nice thing about Secure Ops is that any damage that your armor takes, it's repaired back up to whatever the durability was when you went in. So you never have to worry about repair costs for armor. And anything that you discard armor-wise, like I said, because you don't lose your stuff if you die, if it's your equipment, you get it back after the raid. So it's actually more beneficial for you to kill somebody, take their stuff, drop your stuff, because you'll get the value for that equipment, and you're going to get your equipment back at the end of the raid anyway, so that way you can maximize the profit. So go find either like new or worn helmets and body armors from the market, or if you've got some of that higher tier stuff, or you have a tier 5 helmet and armor that's already kind of worn down, that might be kind of useless in the other modes, but you can use it for Secure Ops. Just take that stuff and kind of put it off to the side so you can use it for that mode, and then you don't have to worry about going and buying and spending more money on a kit, because you have one kind of set off there for Secure Ops specifically. The other thing that you can do too to kind of lower the amount of money that you're being, you know, basically checked on going into the raid, is take the magazine out of the weapon. So just take the magazine out and throw it in your chest rig or whatever. So you'll just load that in as soon as you get into the raid, and then you're good to go. So if you've been wondering how people get some of the stuff into Secure Ops, that's how they do it. Because it puzzled me at first too, when I was like, you know, I'm running like this tier 4 stuff or whatever, and I'm going up against guys that have like tier 5 and tier 6, but I'm like, the cap is 400,000. Like, how does that work? So once I figured that out, you know, after playing for a little bit, I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. But that's pretty much it. You know, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what your experience has been with Secure Ops, if you think it's a great mode to kind of learn maps and make some extra money, or if you think it's completely useless. Personally, myself, like I said, I think what you can really take away from it is it's a nice opportunity to learn maps and, you know, make some extra money or kind of pad your money with a very low risk and low cost. Now, obviously, Secure Ops is only on Armory and TV Station right now, so you can only really learn those 2 maps. But maybe they'll expand that out to more maps once they start putting more maps into the game. Obviously, Valley and Farm don't really need a Secure Ops mode because you have normal mode, and that you can literally run in there with a knife, and it basically costs you nothing if you really want it to. So, I do think it's a good mode. I'm glad that it's sticking around. You have good opportunities there, especially, like I said, for new players or people trying to make some extra money. I'll probably do a video of just some gameplay that's separate from this, just on Secure Ops. Obviously, it's going to be primarily on TV Station, but yeah. I don't want to drag this on too long, so just wanted to put that quick video together. I just got home from work, so wanted to throw some of this stuff out while it was fresh in my head because, like I said, I had some people come into the stream and ask me those questions. But I am streaming on Twitch, YouTube, and now Kick. So I just started multi-streaming to Kick as well, so I'm on those 3 platforms. If you guys want to check those out for me, that'd be great. And as always, of course, if you like the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the like, because that helps me out. And I will try to put more videos like this out in the future. I'm going to try to primarily stick to Arena Breakout for a while, just so I can build up that following and, you know, the algorithm. But you guys have a great day. Good luck on the raids, and I'll see you next time. Peace.